In my fourth year of undergraduate, in my fourth year as an undergraduate student, I was nearing my final exams, approaching final exams, and it was my last round of final exams. And I received a call from Regina telling me that my father had had 2 myocardial infarcts or 2 heart attacks. It was serious. I was here in Manitoba. They were in Saskatchewan. My sister was still living in Saskatchewan. And he survived. But we were told that if he didn't receive a heart transplant within 2 years, his prognosis was very poor. And I'll just cut to the chase. He's still alive today. So this happened at a pivotal time because I was at that point where I was starting to decide what to do with my science degree. So there were multiple fields I could enter, but cardiovascular research at that time appealed to me for obvious reasons. So that's the initial stimulus for me to become a cardiovascular researcher. He suffered from heart failure for a number of years. In 2001, I was engaged to be married, and I was training in San Francisco, and we received a call that he had suffered a cardiac arrest, which in essence means that his heart was not pumping blood effectively, or pumping blood. So they were living in Kelowna at that time. I flew up to Kelowna. The nurse, when I spoke with her, said that I needed to come up quickly to say goodbye. And when I arrived in Kelowna, it was dire. But he survived again, and the cardiologist scribbled in his chart a miraculous recovery. And this initiated a process by which he was considered what would be again for a heart transplant. So 2001, I was engaged. He danced with me at my wedding. He was fine by the time I got married. And he moved down that path towards a heart transplant. So in 2007, it was decided that it was time for him to seriously be put on the list for heart transplantation. So he lives in Kelowna. This would be at St. Paul's Hospital in Vancouver. He took the Greyhound with my mom to St. Paul's to do the workup for his heart transplant. He spent some time with my sister. She lives in BC. So I believe it's 4 days later, they were on the Greyhound back. So he'd been on the wait list for 3 or 4 days, and his pager went off. And they'd found a heart for him in 4 days. So in 2007, he received his heart transplant, and he's going strong. I believe in research, and I believe that without research, I would have lost my father years ago. He's met all of his grandchildren, what I believe to be all of his grandchildren. It's been wonderful. So I'm committed to continuing in this area.